Welcome back to another video on this Python setup lecture series. So now we are going to discuss on how to run and create files that are Python notebooks, right? In the previous video of setting up of Sublime Text, I have told you a little bit about what Python notebooks are. So let's look at them and let's look at platforms where we can create, run and edit Python notebooks, right? So the first and foremost platform that we will be using is called the Google Collaboratory, and click on Google Collab, right? So this is what you type, and inside Google Collaboratory you go to the official website. So once you open the website, you will be greeted with this welcome to Collaboratory this is called a Python notebook. So let us call it a collab notebook just to differentiate it from the other editors. So in this collab notebook, as you can see, there is text, there is videos, and there is code as well. So this is the use of a Python notebook. So this is actually the code, and each code is given in a cell, and the cell is this gray box right here. So you can execute code only cell by cell, right? You can execute all the cells also one by one, but once you execute a cell, the code in that cell only will run, right? So Google Colab is for people who don't have a powerful system to execute heavy codes. Let me zoom in on this. So as you can see, there's RAM and there's disk, right? So this RAM and disk are not your RAM and disk. This is provided by Google. It is a cloud platform that gives you the power to run heavy codes without it affecting the computing power of your computer. So this is something that Google has given us for free. So as you hover over it, as you can see that it gives you 12.68 GB RAM, and disk is about 107.72 GBs. So you can use that much space and that much computational power, right? So my code here is executed. So the basic thing that they are doing is seconds in a day is a variable, and they're multiplying it by 60 seconds into 60 minutes into 24 hours. So yeah, they got 86,400. And yeah, so if you read all these instructions they've given, you will know how to execute each cell using different types of shortcuts, and keyboard shortcuts and everything. And these are complex programs that you can just run and see. So this would be the output here. The output is something like a graph. So we don't need to go much into what they're coding right now, but this will give you a feel of what it is and how to run it and navigate inside it. And if you're having links, you can actually give these links. So if you click on this, you will be directed to another web page. So Collaboratory is very handy when it comes to expressing all the features about a code, just not the code alone, right? So this is how to use the Collaboratory. So how to create a new one is go to File, create a new notebook, and just wait for the notebook to be created. And once the page is loaded, yes, as you can see, here is the name. So I will change the name. I will change it to hello world again, hello_world, and yes, it'll save automatically. So one thing that you don't need to worry about in Collaboratory is saving your code. There's auto saving that happens very often, and for every single letter you type, nothing will be lost, or not everything will be saved without you purposely saving it. As you can see right now, it just got saved. And once you open this hello world, the notebook, you need to connect to a runtime. So go to connect, click on connect, and this will connect you with the Google Cloud platform that I've told you before. So we'll connect you to that Google Cloud server, which has like 12 GB and 100 GB of RAM and storage respectively. So once I click that, I will wait for the RAM and disk to be shown. Yes, it is shown. Now I can safely run my commands. So I will do print hello world again. Now, as you have guessed, we know what the output is. So we will run this cell and see, you can see the output here. So it's pretty handy. Now how to access this particular collaboratory is that once you create a collaboratory notebook, it will be stored in the drive that you are signing your Google with. For example, here my account is vidyadharan70645@gmail.com. That is my email. So that will be my Gmail account. So in this account, I have signed in my Google. So it's even inside the collaboratory. So once I create a file here, this file will be saved inside my Google Drive as a Google Collab notebook. So I can also have it offline. For example, if I go to file, so I have this option of locate in drive. So once I click that, it will go to my drive and then it will locate wherever, see, hello world is there. So inside this file called my drive, inside collab notebooks, I have all these collaboratory notebooks under which I have hello world also, right? So I'll go to hello world again. And now how to make it offline is that, so once I go to file, I have this option called download. So I hover over it and I get two options. One is download.ipynb and download.py. So this is a Python file, right? So I can either download it as a Python notebook, that is ipynb, that is Python notebook, and download it as a .py file also, which is just a normal Python file. But if I am having any kind of texts inside my notebook, for example, once I go here, I'll get two options, that is code and text. So if I click on text, I will have a text here. So hi, this is a sample text. So once I write it and I click, and I come outside of this particular text box, I will have a text here, right? So if I download such files as .py files, they may not be formatted properly. So the best type of extension to download it as is ipynb itself, because it's already there in that format. So I click on download ipynb and it's downloaded as ipynb. Now I do not have any kind of let's say editor or a notebook or any kind of Python interpreter that operates with Python notebooks, right? So I have VS Code, I have Sublime Text, but that cannot open, ipynb files. So I need a editor that is solely for the purpose of ipynb, and for that I am going to use Jupyter. So it's a Jupyter Notebook. So this is the Jupyter Notebook, and if you scroll down, click on this install the notebook. So these are the instructions to click to install your Jupyter Notebook, on which you can open ipynb files. Now as you can see, we already are familiar with the pip command. So let's go to the command prompt, and inside command prompt, I'll make this bigger for you to be visible. I will copy this pip install Jupyter Lab, and before using any kind of pip command, make sure the pip is installed. So if you click pip and enter, you will get the help page for pip. Yes, I'm getting it. So let's go ahead and run the code. That is pip install Jupyter Lab. Enter. Now what my pip is supposed to do is download the Jupyter Lab, and this is the output that you will be expecting. Jupyter Lab along with all the necessary dependencies will be downloaded and it will be installed in your system. Oh, let us wait for the whole installation to get over. So until then, let's look at the instructions. So once you give pip install Jupyter Lab, and once installed, launch Jupyter Lab with, okay, so this is how I launched Jupyter Lab, right? So Jupyter Lab is something like a visualization tool, like how your code is, like it's almost similar like code editor, right? So what we exactly need is pip install notebook, right? So just to give you an example, I just gave you this pip install Jupyter Lab. So we will be using Jupyter Notebook mostly. Yes, so the pip install Jupyter Lab is done. Now we will install Jupyter Notebook. Now this is the most important thing that we will be using to open the IPYNB file, and after this we will look at the instructions, what else that we need to do. So once I pip install notebook, I will go with Jupyter Notebook, right? So you can use pip install Jupyter Notebook or notebook, everything will download the same thing, right? My installation of pip install notebook is over. Now I will open the notebook. So the command to open it is Jupyter Notebook. I'll copy this. So I've made this bigger, and now our Python Jupyter Notebook is running. So once you click Jupyter Notebook and if you wait, you will notice that Jupyter Notebook is 6.5.2, that is the version, is running at this particular local host, right? So what we need to do is our Jupyter Notebook, that is the notebook that which we are going to be opening our IPYNB files, right? So that is running on this particular host. Now what we are going to do is take this host, the link for this host, copy it, and we are going to go to Google. So go to this link, go to the URL tab and paste the link, and once you click enter, you will find that all these files are here, and there is a new tab called Jupyter that is running, right? So now what this means is, this is the file explorer from which we can take all the necessary files that we are files that we want to run in Jupyter. For example, let's create a new one. So new Python 3, say when I click that, I will create a new notebook in Jupyter, and as you can see, it is very similar to what we saw in Google Colab, is because this is also an IPYNB file, right? So you can go to file and new notebook to create another notebook, and you can get save as, and so inside the directory, where do you want to save, or what do you want to save it as? So I will save it as hello world again. And click save, and here my code would be print with quotes hello world, and if I run this, right, so this particular selected cell will run, and I will get the output immediately below that cell. So now we have understood what a notebook file is, and the two types of platforms in which we can use the notebook file, that is the Google Colab and the Jupyter Notebook. Now you can also download this just like Google Colab. So go to the download as tab here, and inside you can find HTML, Markdown, Notebook, and a lot of other like file extensions that you can download it as. So what we will be doing is, we will either use Python or we will use Notebook. So right now we'll go with Notebook. So once you click on Notebook, you can see hello world 1.ipynb is downloaded. Why is it hello world 1? Because we downloaded hello world.ipynb from Google Colab, right? So let us open that. So this is hello world 1. So I will open. So where is my hello world? See, I have hello world right here, and once I go to this file icon, I will be able to go to this upload icon. So go to the upload button, and inside downloads, so go to downloads. Just now we downloaded what we wanted. So hello world 1 and hello world is there. So hello world 1 is what we downloaded it from the Jupyter one. So I'll go to hello world and I'll open it. Yes, I have hello world IPYNB. I'll upload it. There's already a hello world. Okay, I'll overwrite. So yeah, so hello world is there, and in Google Colab we had actually written a sample text, right? So I have the sample text here. So the reason why we are doing is because why we use the notebook is because between the platforms the notebook format will not change. So if there is text here, I can have the text, the same kind of text here in the same place, right? So this is the use and like how to use Jupyter Notebook, how to use Google Colab, and what are what are Python notebooks. Yes, so one more important thing that we need to do is Jupyter, Python notebooks can be opened in Jupyter, but can it be opened in VS Code? Right? So the answer is yes. So we'll go to Visual Studio Code and we'll see how to open this in a Visual Studio, right? So I will create, I don't need a file right now. So I will go to extensions and I will write Jupyter Notebook. So the first thing that I get is the Jupyter Notebook support, and it is already installed for me. If it is not installed for you, you can always click install, that is here. And this extension allows me to upload and open a notebook file, right? So how do I verify? So I will open my hello world.ipynb that is there in the downloads. So I'll click this and I'll open and open. Yes, see now the whole interface is now different because this is no longer just a normal code editor. This is a notebook code editor. So here we have the notebooks code, this place where you write the code, and below is the output, and here is the text, right? So plus code and plus markdown. So plus code will give you another snippet of code, and plus markdown will give me another snippet of writing, which is text. So hi, this is yet another sample text. So now you can see the difference between the text. So I'll save this. Yes. So the difference between this code and the text, right? So IPYNB files can be opened even in VS Code as long as you have this extension right here. So thank you for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one.